We're under a half an hour till kickoff, live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter. And in this 30 minutes, we're going to hash over some fantasy lineups, pick some exciting props and wagers, and introduce the plan for Parlay Live. Hey everyone, welcome to Evening Kickoff, your football home for fantasy props and parlays. I'm your host, Seano, and if you enjoy fantasy football or even placing a small wager on sports, this is the Thursday night pregame show you don't want to miss. And tonight, we're going to start going through the upcoming Week 1 regular season games. We'll examine the players that we project you'll target in your fantasy draft. We'll also take a look at the numbers they could put up on the board and give you some insight into who may best fit on your team. Next, we'll pick through those starters and find our most intriguing prop bets for week number 1. And we'll explain the whole fun behind playing fantasy football and placing a prop bet or two while you are enjoying the games. We'll also take a look at player ADP, or what's called average draft position, and discuss where we could see some of these players going in your fantasy draft. And there's another thing I want to let you in on, a little secret. These players, they go on Twitter a lot. People don't know that, but they're on Twitter all the time. And sometimes they start posting things that give some insight into where their head is at, or maybe what they're wondering about. Plus, you find out who's disgruntled enough that they might suddenly just get a toothache until their contract is renegotiated. So we look at everything. But for starters, let's roll into fantasy projections. And starting off, who do we got? Buffalo Bills, at the opener, LA Rams. That's Thursday, September 8th, 7:20 p.m. Central Time. The big ones, the big names you're going to be looking at for your fantasy teams that we'll project you want to keep an eye on are Josh Allen, number 1, top quarterback. Singletary, running back's pretty good as well. Stephon Diggs. He's probably wide receiver 3 or 4 in the draft. There's Josh there now. Everything revolves around him. On the Rams side, you've got Matthew Stafford. Cam Akers looking to have a breakout year. He's not going to be splitting as much in the backfield, we don't think, this year. But number 1, Cooper Kupp. The number 1 wide receiver in the league. He's right there on your screen. He will be again this year. And Allen Robinson just joined the team there. Take a look at Allen Robinson, like in the 3rd to 4th round of your draft. Okay, Saints at Falcons we've got noon September 11th. That one's on Fox. The big players there, Jameis Winston this year could have a top 7 QB year. Keep an eye on him. Kamara, is he suspended? Is he not? Is he going to be? Is he not? We just don't seem to know yet. I think there was a report out that he might not get suspended. But who's on the screen there? Chris Olave, the rookie. Keep an eye on him. Sleeper pick. Yeah, he's going to be a good sleeper pick this year. I had Cordell Patterson last year on my teams. Not bad. Drake London, he's a rookie on the screen. Highly talented. Mariota is going to be looking for him early, I think. So they got a good team there as far as receiver. Kyle Pitts at tight end. Pretty decent. The 11th at noon, also you've got the Cleveland Browns at the Carolina Panthers. Oh, boy. This could turn into, I hate to say revenge game, but let's face it, Baker Mayfield. Deshaun Watson, it sounds like his suspension might have gotten extended to 11 weeks. Is that going to hold for sure? I don't know. Nick Chubb, familiar name, there he is on the screen. You'll grab him in 2nd to 3rd round. Amari Cooper, very good, came over from the Cowboys. That's going to be the target for that team. And then, of course, for the Carolina Panthers, Baker Mayfield is going to have a pretty decent year, but it's all about Christian McCaffrey. He's healthy now. I'll be looking for him. And DJ Moore, 3rd round of your draft. Look for him for wide receiver. He's solid. Baker's going to be going to him quite a bit. Next up, we've got San Francisco 49ers at the Chicago Bears. You have to say it like that. The Bears. And in those games, we're looking at Trey Lance, probably his coming out party. Look this year for Trey Lance to have a year kind of like Jalen Hurts had last year. He's going to be running in some touchdowns. Don't fall asleep on this guy. He's good. Elijah Mitchell coming back for a good year. Of course, there's our buddy, George Kittle. Can't have a football party without George Kittle. But all these guys, take a screenshot of this. All these guys on your screen right now, Justin Fields, there you got David Montgomery at running back. These are the guys you're going to want to be looking at third, fourth, and fifth round, but you want to be looking for them. They're good players. Now, Steelers at Bengals. Who will you be drafting in fantasy football from those teams? Steelers, we don't know who the quarterback is yet. I think Trubisky is slotted in there right now. Although their rookie, I saw a part of a game he played the other day. He was good. I mean, he felt at home, of course. It is a coming home party for him. But Najee Harris is the name, as you know. It'll be a sophomore year. He'll probably have another 300 carries this year. That's not going to last forever, but sophomore year, he's going to be solid. And then look for Freiermuth at tight end. On Bengals side, they're loaded. Draft anyone you can from that team. Burrow's solid. Mixon had him last year. He was solid. That's T. Higgins there. He might match Jamar Chase's production this year at wide receiver. And Tyler Boyd at tight end. He's really good. Telling you can't go wrong at all if you draft from that football team for your fantasy team. Bengals are really good. All right, Eagles at the Lions. Who we got? Jalen Hurts. I got to make a prediction right now. It's going to shock you. No one else is talking about this. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be the MVP of the league this year. I'm going to say it again. It's going to be Jalen Hurts right there on your screen. He's going to be the MVP of the league. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, very good. Dallas there at tight end. Goddard, he's good. For the Lions, DeAndre Swift is probably going to have a pretty good year because they upgraded their offensive line. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown at wide receiver. So all these get Hockenson at tight end. Very solid. But these are the targets that you want to have. These are who we project that you want to look at for your fantasy team. Indianapolis Colts at Texans. That's also on the 11th at noon, of course. Now, running back, Jonathan Taylor. He's number one in the league. He's going to be the top player taken in your draft, in most drafts. Also on that team, Pittman Jr. I got to turn your attention to Alec Pierce, the rookie wide receiver. I'm liking what I'm hearing about this guy. He's going to be solid. He's like later in that 8th round when you don't know who to pick next. Grab that kid. He might be the breakout player. Marlon Mack at running back. Brandon Cooks for Houston Texans. It's all going to be about how the quarterback plays out their play at quarterback for the year, because that could be a little iffy. But anyway, New England Patriots at Miami Dolphins. As we know, the Dolphins have a way of messing with the Patriots. But this is always going to come down to one thing for the Dolphins. It's going to come down to Tua. I'm not sold yet on either one of these quarterbacks. Not Mac Jones either. I think it's still early to determine how good he's going to be. Damian Harris, you're going to snag him probably 3rd to 4th round. Devontae Parker is good. Hunter Henry, look for him at tight end. I think he's going to be a top 8 tight end. So however big your league is, 10 or 12 teams or 14, however big it is, Hunter Henry's going to land on a team. Again, Tua, Chase Edmonds, not bad. It's all going to be about Tua and then Tyreek Hill. That's what it comes down to. How many balls is Tyreek going to catch? Jay Waddle is a very good wide receiver. Look for him as well. Then we got, who we got? Ravens and Jets. Wow, this is good. Ravens you kind of know about. Jets are up and coming. They really reloaded this year. Starting with the Ravens, of course, you got Lamar Jackson. Everything revolves around him. If he has a good year, it's going to be good for J.K. Dobbins there at running back. Grab him. Rashad Bateman, absolutely. Mark Andrews, the number 1 tight end in the league. So he's going to be number 1 again probably this year. He's so solid. Now, who are you going to look for from the Jets? Jets got players. Zach Wilson has to get better. He has to stay focused on on-field activities and not off. You know what I mean? Breece Hall, the rookie from Iowa State, scored 56 touchdowns in 3 years at Iowa State. 18.5 touchdowns per year for Breece Hall. This guy, if he's still around at the beginning of your 3rd round, I'd say grab him. He knows how to find the end zone. Don't fall asleep on that kid. He's good. He's young. He's healthy. It's going to be solid. Okay, what we got? We've got, the Jaguars, Washington Commanders. Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. They played college at Clemson together, won a national title in 2018, I think. So Etienne's going to be solid. Look for him, 3rd round. Christian Kirk's over there now. They paid him a whole bunch of money. They're expecting him to get the ball, and he's going to get it. Lawrence is going to be better this year. Commanders, you got Wentz now. Wentz's last, I don't know, is this the swan song? Is he going to have a good year? Antonio Gibson, he's fading on me a little bit, but look for Terry McLaurin at wide receiver. He's going to be a top target for Carson Wentz. Wentz has got to stay healthy. That's really the big thing there. So let's move over. Kansas City Chiefs, 3:25 p.m. Central on CBS. They are going to see the Arizona Cardinals. Now, of course, that's about Patrick Mahomes. And he's still top 1, 2, 3 quarterback in the league. They're also loaded. I want to point your attention to Sky Moore, the rookie. I'm not saying he's Tyreek, but he's going to be filling in there and getting a lot of targets. So 3rd, 4th round for him, look for him on your team. Then Kyler Murray. You know, wherever he goes, that team's going to go. James Conner's probably going to have another solid year at running back. Marquise Brown, we like him. We like A.J. Green, and we like Zach Ertz. So these are all players. Take a screenshot. Like I said, if you're watching on your device right now, take a screenshot of these players. These are all the people you want to target in your draft. Coming up, oh boy, Raiders at the Chargers. Oh, wow, this is going to be good. That AFC West is really solid this year, folks. That's just loaded. It's going to be shootout after shootout. Devontae Adams is there with the Raiders now, and that's going to free up a lot of targets for Hunter Renfrow. He's good. He's a slot guy. And then Darren Waller at tight end. Josh Jacobs is in a contract year. They didn't renew or didn't extend him, so he's looking to play into some money for next year, so he's going to be good. Justin Herbert, rock solid. Probably the 2nd, 3rd quarterback taken off the board in your league. Austin Ekeler, probably the 2nd running back taken off the board. There he is. He runs, he catches. But Keenan Allen and Mike Williams at wide receiver, they're both really good. And Everett at tight end, he's solid too. All of those guys, again, I'll say this a couple more times. Take a screenshot of these if you're on your device watching right now, because these are all players you want to go after. Green Bay at Minnesota. Here's the deal there. I thought Minnesota would be favored, and they're not. They're like 2.5 dogs so far, underdogs. Aaron Rodgers, of course, he's the man. We got to wait and see with the wide receivers there. Lazard, sure, take him, but that's not going to be in the 2nd or 3rd round. That might be more into the 4th. Sammy Watkins, I don't know. He seems like he keeps getting second chances, but he doesn't really come through. Randall Cobb, is he healthy? Of course, Kirk Cousins is going to probably have a pretty good year this year. Dalvin Cook, when he's healthy, he's great. Make sure you grab his backup. But also on the Vikings, Justin Jefferson, probably 1st, 2nd, or 3rd receiver off the board. Irv Smith Jr., of course, Adam Thielen, later in the 6th, 7th round for Thielen. But all those guys, that's who you want to we project you're going to end up on your teams. They're getting drafted in these mock drafts everywhere right now. So these are the best players in each team. Keep an eye out. Giants at Tennessee Titans. Who we got? Daniel Jones. What kind of year is he going to have? Saquon Barkley, contract year. He hasn't been really awesome since his rookie year. He's been hurt. Kadarius Toney, look for him at wide receiver, 3rd to 4th round pick. Keep an eye on him. And Wan'Dale Robinson, kind of a sleeper pick. No one's talking about him. He's going to be good. Ryan Tannehill, good quarterback. Derrick Henry, when he's healthy, he's a machine, but he's 27, 28 years old now. Robert Woods is there now. Treylon Burks, the rookie. Treylon Burks, another rookie. I'm giving up my sleeper picks for you folks. He's going to be good. Tannehill's going to target him. He's going to be getting his catches. He's going to get his targets. He's going to score some touchdowns. Buccaneers at Dallas Cowboys, a 7:20 p.m. game on CBS, 7:25 Central Time. Tom Brady, excuse me. We know, but he's not in camp right now. I don't know what the deal with that's all about. Leonard Fournette, old stalwart. Mike Evans, 8 straight season, 1,000 yards each season, so don't fall asleep on him. He'll be at the end of your probably 2nd round. Chris Godwin, of course, when he's healthy, solid number 2 receiver. For the Cowboys, if Prescott plays well, CeeDee Lamb should have a breakout year. Also, Dalton Schultz at tight end. Keep an eye on him. His year could be a pretty solid one. Zeke, I don't know. Tony Pollard's backing him up, and Tony might be out in the field quite a bit. So if you get Ezekiel, I would say make sure you grab Tony Pollard too, a little bit later, but not too late. All right, who you got? You got Denver at the Seahawks. Oh, boy. Homecoming. Hello, Seattle. Russell Wilson coming back to prove that, well, maybe he should have given me the big contract, which they did not do. So Russell's going back to Seattle. That's going to be a throw-it game, I think. He's going to be tossing the ball around. Javonte Williams, good in the solids. Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, solid wide receiver. I don't know about Geno Smith yet. We have to wait and see how that pans out. Rashad Penny has the Kenneth Walker right behind him. There's Kenny on the board. If you grab one, you're going to probably have to grab the other because that could be a split situation. And maybe not so much split. Kenneth Walker, I believe, is eventually going to become the starter. Of course, at wide receiver, those guys are solid. You know Tyler Lockett, you know DK Metcalf. They're going to be good again. It just is going to come down to the quarterback play. Oh, here we go. Let's get into some player props. Pretty awesome. Let me turn these over. I got to see if we can pull up on the screen here. Okay, we've got Joe Mixon and Derrick Henry, the first two. So I'm looking at Joe Mixon. Okay, they play against, the Steelers in that first game? Last year, he had 250 total yards versus the Steelers in both of the games. I had him last year. He was good. And he's got, like I said, he's going to be running against the Steelers defense, and it's going to be at home. When Mixon faced him last year, he faced him twice. He had 90 yards rushing first game and 160-yard rushing, 2 touchdowns in the second game, which is at home. So this is going to be at home as well. Prop, I'm going to get him at 85 yards and 85 yards or more, and I think maybe a touchdown. And then Jamar Chase, 65 yards, 21 receiving yards, or excuse me, last year in 2021, 65 yards he had through the air. 2 touchdowns in that same game. So I'm going to go 65 yards and a touchdown on this one. Stephon Diggs, he's going against the Rams, pretty much top-ranked defense for 22 for this year for the opener. And Diggs averaged 72 yards a game receiving last year, but I think this is going to be a tough one for him. So I've got him under 60 yards. I don't think he's going to score in this game, but we'll have to see. That's just, it's on the road. He's, he only scored, 10 touchdowns last year. I'd go under on the touchdowns. If he comes up and it's a half for the prop line, over a half a touchdown or under, of course, go under because I don't think he's going to score. So who do we have coming up next here? We have Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. Wow. Okay, for Burrow, he saw 172 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and a pick on the road in 2021 again against the Steelers. But he also saw 109 yards passing and 1 touchdown with a pick at home against them. I'd go cautious on Burrow in this game and call it about 175 yards passing and over a half a touchdown, probably maybe 2 touchdowns. For Josh Allen, his worst performance last year was 145 yards passing and a touchdown, and he rushed for 39 yards in that game. He was only shut out once during the year, and he shut out twice passing touchdowns, but on one of them he had a rushing touchdown. That's the thing with him. So for my prop, I've got him at 250 total yards and 2 total touchdowns. And I'm going to turn that music down just a little bit so you can hear me. So, okay, who we got coming up next? We have T. Higgins and Devontae Adams, I believe it is. And here's where some of you are going to think I'm going to lose my mind. I project that T. Higgins will rival his teammate Jamar Chase this year for catches, yardage, and touchdowns. Last year, Higgins finished with over 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns for the year, so basically a good wide receiver 3. But Chase was running free and clear last year, and that's not going to happen this year. Defenses are going to target him. Higgins is going to get more, I think, single coverage when they double up on Chase, so keep an eye out. All right, for Devontae Adams, he's going to go up against an improved Chargers defense for his opener. In that game, it's on the road. It's hostile territory. But here's the deal on Devontae. I don't think he's going to really care. He averaged over 100 yards receiving in his road wins for 2021, and he's reunited now with his college quarterback, and he's looking good in camp, they say. So I think he's hungry to prove that he can be the best without Aaron Rodgers. So I got him on the prop line, over 90 yards receiving, but under a touchdown for the game. I don't think he's going to score in this first one. But his teammates could benefit. Hunter Renfrow, the slot guy, tight end Darren Waller. So, all right, who do we got next up on this screen? We've got Austin Ekeler, Breece Hall. Austin is a dang good running back. He finished second or third in points in most fantasy leagues last year. For this year, his team seems to have improved their defense, so he could be on the field more and get more opportunities. The Raiders D comes into the season not ranking very high, and this could be a huge opener for the Chargers. Last year, Ekeler went for 64 yards and a touchdown rushing and 30 yards and a touchdown receiving on the road against the Raiders and 117 yards at home. So I think his dominance over the Raiders will continue. I got him for 90 yards rushing and scoring at least a touchdown in this opener. Now, of course, rookie Breece Hall, he is the touchdown machine. In college, he scored 56 touchdowns in 3 years. He knows how to find the end zone. I think he's going to probably have some split duty in the backfield as a rookie starting out. But he goes up, up against the Ravens defense in the opener. And, they're about, I suppose, coming out at about the 10th ranked defense or so. So I'd say Breece starts out a little bit slow, maybe 50, 60 yards rushing, probably under a touchdown for the game. But he's going to have a great year. Hunter Renfrow, can't say that name, G. Waddle. Hunter is going to really, really benefit from signing Devontae Adams. Hunter's a slot guy, and he's going to be doing some damage from there all year long. They've got the Chargers in the opener and the double teams that Adams will see, along with the attention Darren Waller is going to get at tight end. So Renfrow is going to have a good game, I think, against the Chargers. I think I'm going to put him at 65 yards and a score for Mr. Slot Guy. For Jay Waddle, they open against the Patriots at home. And I am stumped a little on this because we don't know what True is going to bring to the table. So how many targets will Jay get with Tyreek on board with his huge contract? I don't know what the line's going to be on game one, but we'll have to see what type of year True is having. So I don't know, less than 60 yards. I don't think he's probably going to score a touchdown. And like I said before, I think the Pats, they probably will have a top 10 D this year. I think that makes things a little bit more interesting, a little more difficult. Oh, so coming up here, Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce. So Mark has, in some people's eyes, now surpassed Kelce as the number one tight end in football. And he's good against any defense. In the opener, he goes up against the Jets defense. Last year, he only had one game under 50 yards receiving. And by contrast, he had 5 games over 100 yards receiving. And he scored 9 touchdowns along the way. So he's so solid. I've got him 65-plus yards and a touchdown. He's going to do it. Future Hall of Famer Travis Kelce, he'll go up against a top 15 defense in the Arizona Cardinals. I think that's a road game. Last year, he had 6 games under 40 yards receiving. You heard that right. So his production has kind of declined a little bit. Plus, they're on the road, so I suspect he's going to have kind of a more modest, up to maybe less than 50 yards. I don't think he's going to score in that game. And again, Mark Andrews, he only had 1 game last year under 50 yards. It's pretty incredible. So who we got coming up next for our little prop section here? Prop wager, Justin Herbert, Derek Carr. Oh, boy, we get them both in 1 game, right? So this is not only an awesome prop wager setting, but it has the makings of a great parlay as well. Herbert is going to turn loose on this one. He has 2 wonderful receivers in Williams and Allen. He has an outstanding running back in Ekeler. He threw for 6 touchdowns total last year against the Raiders. And we got him, I think, for 3 more touchdowns in this game. He'll go over 245, 250 passing yards. He's going to be solid. Now, for Derek Carr, this could be a long game for him and the Raiders against their division rivals. On the road, Carr will face a pretty solid defense against those Chargers. Carr threw for under 200 yards passing in both games last year against the Chargers. And he threw for 2 touchdowns as well in both. So we're going to figure Carr 170 yards on the road and a touchdown. He'll keep his trends going on throwing touchdowns, but that's on the road. That one's going to be kind of tough. So, all right, who do we got coming up here? I think it's running backs. Who are running backs? Oh, Najee Harris and Nick Chubb. Najee Harris goes into Bengals territory with the weight of the offense on his back. In the road game against Cincinnati last year, Najee was stopped for only 23 yards rushing, 14 yards receiving, and he didn't score a touchdown. This Bengals team is highly motivated this year, and the Steelers are retooling at quarterback. It could be a long day. So we got Najee under 60 yards rushing, and I just don't think he's going to find the end zone. Now, Nick Chubb, he's going to go into Carolina to face his old quarterback, Baker Mayfield. This is a straight-up revenge game for Mayfield. I'm sorry, but it is. And we think his teammates are going to rally around him for the cause. Chubb does do well in road games, but I think this is going to be too much for him. We got Chubb's under 68 yards rushing, and I think, though, we might see him score in this game. I think he does find the end zone. So start him if you got him, but back for a prop wager, I think under 70, under 68 yards, but I'd go for one score there. Also, running back Javonte Williams and Travis Etienne. Broncos at Seahawks. Oh, who's ready for this one? Oh, dear, we had a glitch. Well, we're going to try to fix that now. And it's not going to let us. It reset on us. So I think what we are going to do, folks, is I'm going to call it a little early. We're down about 4 minutes. I think it's probably 9 minutes to game time here right now. Sorry about the glitch, but, you're live on the internet, and those things can happen. I hope you enjoy the football games tonight, and I will see you back here next week at 6:30, so about a half hour before game time. And enjoy your evening. Thanks, everyone, and good night.